Good morning and welcome to The Take. I'm Pete Najarian for Market Rebellion. I'll tell you what an interesting end to the week last week. Now let's just really kind of go back a little bit. I know volatility doesn't feel like it's in the market, but it sure did Thursday, Friday. And it really started on Thursday when Biden was talking about tax hikes and we watched the market violently move to the downside. When I say violently, it's because we hadn't seen moves like this in a while, a couple weeks it feels like. And suddenly we just had that big press to the downside. NASDAQ finished down about 1%. You look over at the Dow, that finished down about 1%. But then you roll into Friday. Is there going to be some follow through? How's that going to go? Well, the answer is no. As a matter of fact, the market really turned and burned to the upside. The rocketing move that we'd seen from the NASDAQ actually pushing up almost 1.5%, nearly 200 points to the upside. That was something pretty shocking. And then the turn that we got out of the Dow itself. And the Dow started off the day negative, it flipped, and then started to really sprint to the upside. We were up actually over 300 points, finished still up about 227 points on the markets themselves. So that was really a part of it. And what were the inner workings? What was really pushing the markets around and moving things to the upside? Financials, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, the usual suspects, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo. Financials definitely 1.8% move to the upside. Then we had materials very strong. You had Freeport, you had US Steel, you had Alcoa. Technology, it was all the big names, the really big names, really pushing technology up about 1.5%. So you had Apple and Google and Tesla. Then the SMH kicked in really, really nicely. You look over at a lot of the various names in the semiconductor world that were sprinting to the upside. And I do mean sprinting because they were up nearly 2.5%. Industrials are up about 1%. You get the idea. Now, we were just coming off a day where we were pushing on Thursday that 20 level on the volatility index. Well, we pulled right back again to that 16, 17 level for the volatility index. We did have a nice monstrous day to close out the week as far as the volumes itself. 36 million contracts trading, another really big day. Bitcoin, another really wild ride. You know, we've talked about if you want volatility, look no further than Bitcoin because we've had some ups and downs and it's really been shifting around significantly, recovered a little bit off of at least the lows. And now take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin today. Bitcoin having an absolutely monstrous day today. It's up about 7%. So a really strong move for Bitcoin today, up about 3,600 points or thereabouts. So a nice strong move. I believe it's last I looked, and things do change very rapidly, not just in the market, specifically in Bitcoin. But the last I looked, it was trading somewhere near that 53,000 and change sort of an area. So a pretty nice rebound as we were talking about just now. So this morning when we started off today, we had a pretty nice, what looked like going to be a nice strong start to the day, up about 55 points for the Dow. We were actually negative early on for the NASDAQ. That rapidly flipped. We got to the open. Suddenly we're up about 40 points. 9 o'clock rolls around about 30 minutes in. You start to digest what's going on for the day. We were up about 60 points on the Dow, up about 40 points or thereabout on the NASDAQ. I don't have an update for right this second, but I will tell you this. What looked like was really some of the movement that we were seeing today that was putting us into a stronger position is the reopen trade. And that was something the airlines, the cruise ships, industrials, a lot of that stay-at-home stocks, a little bit of pressure on some of those. So a little bit of that shifting that we've been watching for a long period of time now, but that shifting today, at least looking like the reopen was really sort of the driving force. So today, we just talked about what was going on Friday. Financials, once again, financials are continuing this leadership. We've got Goldman Sachs really kind of moving things around to the upside. Citi, Bank of America. We've got some activity in Bank of America. We have some activity to the upside in Goldman Sachs as well. So those are some of the names that I really do encourage you to take a look at these banks. So many people. Oh my goodness, it's dead money. Well, it hasn't been dead money since November. We've had a really, really rocking, nice, solid move from the financials. Industrials also up about 0.75% or thereabouts. The last I looked, it was DuPont, it was Caterpillar, it's Boeing. Those are the names leading there. It's the materials space that continues to just really shine. Freeport Mac, strong day last week on Friday, strong day once again today, a really powerful move to the upside. US Steel, nice strong move to the upside. Alcoa, also nice strong move to the upside. So it kind of feeds into the industrials and that reopen that we were talking about as well. Volatility, yeah, we've got a little bit of volatility in the market. We're trading somewhere between 17 and 18, but that's been sort of the area we've been in for a while. We've talked about this contracted movement that we've had, with the exception of that sharp move that we had last Thursday. It's been very, very steady, and that's why we're seeing volatility about where it is. Matter of fact, just remember this, and you look at the VIX and you see it trading around 16, that's telling you the S&P movement is expected to be about 1%. Just keep that in mind. So we're a little bit above that level, and we've had some decent moves, 1% here and there. So certainly it does seem to be right now priced just about right. Earnings week. This is going to be a monster. Everybody's been looking forward to this. Obviously, you kick it all off with the financials. You start getting into a couple of other categories. Now we're getting big time into tech. And you're going to see Microsoft. You're going to see Google. You're going to see Apple. You're going to see Facebook and Boeing and all these various names to throw in there as well. Eli Lilly. We're going to be seeing a nice big swath of earnings over the next 2 or 3 trading sessions that'll really have a huge influence on the market. So let's jump to some of the unusual option activity and get out of here. I will be on the halftime report tomorrow, as well as Fast Money, doing a double-double, as I like to call it. So be a busy day tomorrow. Got the cash flow portfolio coming up just after this as well. So just to keep you updated. Sports entertainment. It's a SPAC shell company, SEAH. Really interesting. This is if you take a look since it launched back in December, very, very tight range for the stock. That's been great. Looks like somebody thinks maybe the tight range is going to break up. And here's why I say that. Stock was trading right around 1075. We had a pretty significant buyer, 5,300 of the May 12.5 calls. And those are going for 9 cents up to 30 cents. Very, very inexpensive. Why are they that inexpensive? First of all, it's a fairly short-term option. Second of all, this is a stock, if you take a look, it has been in a very, very tight range. So can it break out of that range and do we see some movement to the upside? Certainly somebody's been buying some options, at least the start of today, looking for that kind of a breakout to the upside. Next, NIO. Now, NIO hit last week, and we talk about these EV stocks all the time, so it's not just Tesla. There's a whole bunch of them, Nikola, NIO, and so forth, Lee. Take a look at this one. Stock was trading right around 41.90. It's up a little bit today. About 14,000, just under 14,000 of the April 30th. Do you know when April 30th it is? That's Friday. So it's a short-term option. That's just this week. It will be expiring on Friday. So the April 30th, 46.5 calls, looking for a pretty substantial move. Last week, they were looking at May and they were looking at the 47 calls. This week, today, they're looking at these expiring this week and they're looking at these 46.5 calls. 50 cents, 53 cents, up to about 65 cents. So that's another one where it's a fairly inexpensive look peak to the upside, and it's the follow-up of what we'd seen last week. So somebody looking for this stock to make a little bit of a breakout to the upside, and we do have earnings coming up as well. I believe it's on the 28th, but better make sure to make that sure that's absolutely right. Folks, have a great day of trading. Knowledge is king. You're going to want to have that knowledge. This is the place, Market Rebellion, to get that knowledge. Great instructors here. Folks that can coach you along and get you on the right path so you understand all of the different pricing that goes into the options. It's not just about time. It's sometimes is about the implied volatility. It's all of that. There are so many different elements that go into that, and they can teach you about that, and you have a much better understanding and a much better chance for success. Folks, have a great day of trading. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.